sin, nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Nothing but the love of Jesus. What can heal this heart of mine? Nothing but the love of Jesus. And in my sorrow, joy I find. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Nothing but the love of Jesus.
Oh, precious is the flow that makes me white as snow. Oh, no other fount I know. Nothing but the blood of Jesus.
Nothing but the love.
Nothing but the love of Jesus.
Singing,
Oh,
oh,
precious is the flow
that makes me
white as snow. Oh, no
other.
fount I know. Nothing but the blood of Jesus.
Nothing but the love.
The love of Jesus. There is no greater love. The greatest love is Jesus.
We will
We will
overcome.
overcome the enemy's defeat.
Nothing but the
Nothing
love.
but the blood. Nothing but the love of Jesus.
Oh, there is no greater
There is no
love.
greater love. The greatest love is Jesus. We will overcome the enemy's defeat.
Nothing but the
Nothing
love.
but the blood. Nothing but the love of Jesus.
Jesus, there is no
There is no greater love. The greatest love is Jesus. We will overcome the enemy's defeat. Nothing but the blood. Nothing but the love of Jesus.
Greatest love is Jesus.
We will overcome
The enemy's defeat.
Nothing but the
Nothing but the love.
of Jesus.
Greatest love is Jesus.
We will overcome
The enemy's defeat. The love of
This is all my hope and peace. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. This is all my righteousness. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Nothing but the love of Jesus.
I hope you enjoyed that wonderful song, Nothing But the Blood. What a great song. Our songwriter, James Sims, is here with us today. We're so glad that he's here, going to join us, talk a little bit about his song. And just about the background of that. We love to interview our songwriters and just to kind of get an idea from their perspective of these wonderful songs. And James, this was one of my favorite songs on that album. I'm just being honest. I really, really loved it. And it was one of the songs that actually we didn't hardly tweak at all. It was just good when it got to us. And I just appreciate your writing, and I always love your arranging. Always. And so James is just an incredible person, incredible songwriter, and we're glad to have him today. So James, we're going to go just real casually into some questions with you and just kind of ask you some background about that song and just kind of get your thoughts on songwriting and some different topics. So let's go ahead and jump in. I wanted to first ask you, basically with that song, with Nothing But the Blood, where did what inspired that song? Kind of when did you write it? That type of thing, some background on that.
Well, first let me say it's an honor to be on this, and thank you for considering me, and thank you for letting me be involved in the project.
Absolutely.
It's an honor. But probably the recording was in 2015, right? Yeah. So I wrote it shortly before that, like maybe in the end of 14. So yeah, it was just I had an idea for like the melody line, the da 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 da, and then after playing through it and kind of playing through the idea and just kind of singing along to it, I realized like it sounds like Nothing But the Blood. Nothing But the Blood. It has those 5 syllables in it. So yeah, and just kind of played around with that and went from there. But
okay. So the so that kind of almost that melody line kind of almost stuck out to you first, and then you kind of begin to hear that old hymn maybe over that.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it happens for me, at least a lot. Is like because I'm a musician first, not a singer first, not a songwriter first. My introduction to music was as through piano lessons. That's where I started. And so I will always, lean toward the music.
Okay.
So,
yeah. That was another one of my questions. You just answered it. Was just kind of what sometimes comes first for you, because I think every songwriter is a little different. Sometimes they'll get like a line or a lyric, and then they'll write music around that. And and I would say that's probably right with musicians. They're going to hear that melody or that hook first, and then they're going to write around that. So that's pretty neat. And as you can see, James, with the video, we did this with 6 singers and not a 200 voice choir. So so it was a lot of it. It was and we wanted to do that to show that you don't have to have a choir to do these songs. How do you see this song maybe being utilized in churches? I mean, can you see it in your church and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I happen to go to a church that's a larger size, but I've also been a part of churches that were smaller, and it really doesn't matter how big your team is. What matters is focus on the quality of the music, and that kind of song was written so that people would be able to sing it almost immediately. First of all, it's taken from an older song, an older hymn that's been around for more than 100 years. So some people might have already heard it. Second of all, I tried to make it easy enough and simple enough so that anybody could just jump right in. And, one of the big purposes of worship leading, I think, is to get the congregation singing. So, it really doesn't matter how big your team is. What matters is how much quality, what the quality is, and the fact that you're trying to help lead everybody else in worship. That's my opinion on it. So
absolutely, I love that, because it is about getting the congregation engaged. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the quicker and the easier that can happen, the better.
Yep.
That's very good. And I agree, James. That song, or this song, is very. It just pulls you in very quickly, and it's easy to sing, and that's great for those of you that want to do this with a smaller team, as we did in this video with 6 singers. And I just think I just wanted to make sure people know you don't have to have a large group. This could be a special. This could
Yep.
be congregational. It's just one of those songs that
Yep.
could be an anthem in your church.
Exactly.
It really could.
Yep.
And James, you mentioned something about, you're at a larger church. You probably have a pretty good sized music team and band and
Oh yeah.
singers. And
Yep.
as everybody probably noticed, and of course, if you noticed, on the video, I'm just playing keyboard behind there, and of course, you hear the full band. So you're hearing the stems, you're hearing the multi-tracks being played, and I'm just playing keyboard along with that. So I just want to kind of interject something about multi-tracks and about stems. We talk about them a lot. They're being used a lot more in our churches now. And there's pros and cons, but I think there's many pros. And what do you think about stems in general, multi-tracks, as far as churches using those?
Oh, we use them almost every service.
Really?
Oh yeah, and they're helpful, and we use them in rehearsal because we're trying to learn a song. It's awesome that we can isolate. Let's say I'm a guitar player and I want to learn what the guitar player is doing. You know, it wasn't until recently when I was growing up, we didn't have the privilege of doing that. We just had to listen and rewind and do it again and again and again. But with multi-tracks, you can solo the guitar. If you're a guitar player, that's an awesome way to learn how to get better. And not only do we use it in rehearsal, we use it in services too. And we've got a large band. We've got 2 guitar players, organ players, a few different synth players. I'm on the keys. There's 9 singers any given service. There's a drummer, a percussionist. We've got a full band, and we still use multi-tracks because nobody can really say it like the songwriter can say it. And in the same way, the songwriter put all those pieces together in a special way. We'd be silly not to try and use it. It's a benefit to us.
Yeah.
And people have probably heard that song on the radio, and that's just one more step in getting the people comfortable in the congregation because it sounds more like the original, what they're used to.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to say it. I find that people many times think, I don't know, they get scared of them, which, you do have to have some technology to do and use multi-tracks, of course. You've got to have in-ear monitors and things like that. But I just encourage people, especially those that may not have all the instrumentation, it's almost a no-brainer for them. And so, especially with a smaller team, I just want to encourage you, we do have those multi-tracks available for Nothing But the Blood, as you heard them in that video, and they're really, really, really good. So just wanted to throw that out there because sometimes, we just shy away from them sometimes, and I think they're something we should probably embrace. James, I really appreciate your time today because I know it's valuable and I know you got a lot going on, but I want people to hear the background of these songs and the writer, and I want to probably end today with just asking you, as far as songwriting in general, I'm seeing, and I know you're seeing, a lot more apostolic people writing songs, writing material, and I love it.
It's awesome.
I know.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So what would you say? I know you've been writing a long time. What would you encourage maybe a young person or someone who's just getting into songwriting? Is there anything you would want to say to them or encourage them?
Be teachable. There's always something to learn in music. And, in songwriting, get yourself a songwriting mentor. That is somebody who writes music that you love, that you like to sing and listen to. And study what they do. Study, how they transition from parts. Study how they phrase their words. Study how they get to the main idea, or study what they do with vamps and bridges. Like that's what the advice I would give, because there's always somebody better. There's always ways to grow. You never really arrive. Find somebody to mentor you into some really cool ideas, and ultimately ideas that'll be a blessing to your local church and to others.
Awesome. I'm sorry that was broken up just a little bit, guys, but we were still able to capture, James, most of everything you were saying. So I really appreciate your time today. This is a great thing to hear just from you, from our apostolic songwriters. I love hearing just their perspective on things. So thank you. Keep up the good work. You are one of my favorites, and I'm just going to say that out there. I know it's on video, but that's okay. You're one of my favorites, and so just thank you for taking time. What a great song, guys! Check this song out. Download it. I think it's a really incredible, apostolic written, great song that has great content. And so, thanks, James, again, everybody. Thanks for joining in. We look forward to the next time.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for considering me.
Absolutely.